morning and welcome inside the Simply Financial Athletic Center for the third of our 4 games on this reunited weekend. My name is Alex Vandenhack. Join alongside me, my partner in crime, MJ Graham, and an exciting one here tonight. The Humber Hawks make the trip up to the Simply Financial Athletic Center to take on the Niagara College Knights, a rematch of the postseason match from last year where Humber would win and send Niagara to the bronze medal game where they would win, and a chance for Niagara to make their presence felt against the Humber Hawks team that's only lost 2 sets all season.
Niagara looking to make it 3 in a row for Niagara victory today, as the men's and women's basketball team both pulled out victories earlier on in the afternoon.
And when it comes to Humber, obviously the 5-0 is super impressive and all the talent that they have. They lost 2 sets to Conestoga, who's 5-2, a great team in their own right. And you look at their set record, it's similar to Niagara. Niagara's won 17-7, and for Conestoga 17-8. So similar range of standings. But Humber has, against Boreal, yes, they won 3-0, but every single set was relatively competitive. So Niagara has a chance in this game here today, despite, all the glamour with Humber in this one here today.
A little bit of adversity does a team good.
And I mean, if you want to be the best, you have to beat them. So you've got the chance right at home on this super fun weekend of NC Knights sports. We saw some alumni from our basketball teams here today. We talked to Adrian Pajor and Destiny Paquin. We saw Caden Stewart. We'll see if some alumni. Ashton Newitz was here of the men's volleyball program from last season. Reunited, always a super important and fun weekend. Great crowd, as we saw in the volleyball, as our team's getting warm. There's a look at Tess Kelly, who, MJ, is first in the OCAA in hit percentage at .493.
It's impressive.
Tess Kelly, a third year for this Niagara College Knights team. Tess Kelly, Sam Cormier, and Larissa Skipper all in a 3-way tie for third with blocks at 17 each. This interior front has been so good for NC. It's been a staple of the program the last couple of years, obviously, with Sam Cormier last season. She was a first-team All-Star in year 2. Now in year 3, she's got the chance to be one of, if not the best player in the OCAA. And she's been very, very good this year. And her partner in crime, playing in the middle now, Larissa Skipper, has taken that leap and will probably be in the mix to be an All-Star.
It's a great lineup for Niagara, and it'll be a good barometer of them facing off against Humber tonight.
And Humber, no shortage of star power. 3 All-Stars on this roster: Connolly, Manners, and Cholette. Cholette, the second-team All-Star last season, but still 2 first-team All-Stars and a second-teamer. And you go back to last year, Kennedy Williscroft no longer on this Humber Hawks squad, the MVP of the OCAA last season, and yet Humber's still undefeated, and they've only lost 2 sets all season.
Yeah, Humber seems to be really rolling along.
Humber has been dominant in volleyball, both men's and women's, over these last 20 years. And you look at the coaching staff: Chris Wilkins, the head coach of the year from last season, and season 24 with the Humber Hawks.
That kind of consistency really helps the program out.
And I mean, you look at the experience on both teams. Outside of Abby Gooder, it's pretty much all just second and third year players. And on the Hawks side of things, a bunch of 5th years and a handful of 3rd and 4th years for the reigning champs.
It's a lot of experience on one team.
And obviously last year the Knights lost Montana Taylor, who was an integral part of this program over the last 5 years of her time here at Niagara College. And there's a look at Abby Gooder, another one of these cornerstones of the culture established by head coach Steve Stone, as this Knights program has always been in the thick of things, in contention for a medal of some kind, and especially in the top 3 in the Western Conference, which has always been so competitive and looks to be equally competitive this season. Humber 5-0, Niagara 5-1, St. Clair 3-1, Conestoga 5-2. That's your top 4 in the Western Conference, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's a tough top 4 to go against for everybody else.
The Knights continuing to get warm inside the Simply Financial Athletics Center, as we're running a few minutes behind in-house as we await the beginning of this one. These Humber swept the season series last year, excluding the postseason, so technically 3-0 against the Knights. But Humber, as much of, like I said, the powerhouse as they look, they're more beatable than you think. And if you want to strike against them, you got to get off to a quick start, because this Humber Hawks team is a veteran team. They're disciplined, and they're no stranger to adversity.
Niagara's probably going to have to do a little digging, pull this one out, but it's there for them.
This game certainly winnable for the Knights coming into today, 5-1, and they lost just barely to St. Clair. Could very easily be 6-0, and this game could be a match-up of 2 undefeated teams if some things went a different way. But we'll step aside for the playing of our national anthem here at the Simply Financial Athletics Center. O Canada wrapped up here inside the Simply Financial Athletics Center for the 3rd out of 4 times here today on this reunited weekend. The Knights undefeated in basketball, both boys and girls, and looking to build that momentum into this one here today. We saw some of the volleyball players, both guys and girls, at the games earlier today, I should say, and still some basketball players hanging around after they ran to go watch their volleyball counterparts.
Oh, it's great to see a little support from the other various teams.
As we're just moments away from the starting lineups being introduced by the Niagara Knights. We'll look at the starters for Humber. Lexi Sabot, Caitlin LaBelle, Faith Hughes, Hannah Masters, Amy Connolly, and Jessie McDonough, all starting for the Humber Hawks, as well as Claire Ramos and Reese Cholette as the starters being introduced by head coach Steve Stone. And Kira Vroztek in the starting lineup here today. Steve Stone making an adjustment in the starting lineup. No Larissa Skipper in the starting lineup. She's a little bit surprising. Although starters versus how much playing time you get isn't always the end of the world. You want to be up there the most. As the starting lineups are wrapped up. As to kick things off, it's going to be Hannah Masters, the 5th year and first team All-Star from Toronto, Ontario, to kick things off here inside the Simply Financial Athletic Center. The first matchup between the Humber Hawks and the Niagara College Knights this season in women's volleyball. First and only trip at the Hawks will make to the Simply Financial Athletic Center.
Barring a postseason matchup, of course.
Masters, Patterson. It's over by Vroztek. Chance to recycle. Up at the line. And it'll go to the Humber Hawks. Looks like, pardon me, some confusion in house. It'll stay with the Humber Hawks as Hannah Manners will serve off again. It'll go down as an ace off the hands of Abby Gooder. And a quick 2-0 start for the Humber Hawks.
Humber not wasting any time.
It's going to be a challenge here today. As Patterson digs this one out. Tia back up. It'll be a free ball for Rostec. Some confusion. It'll be played up by Masters. Right off the hand of Abby Gooder.
Bit of miscommunication there.
As a quick 3-0 start in favor of the Humber Hawks. The CCAA silver medalists from last season. McDonough catches the Knights asleep off the deflection.
This Humber team is efficient.
I mentioned before the Humber Hawks only losing 2 sets all season long. As Kelly sets up for her sister, gets rejected at the line. And a quick 5-0 start.
Knights are gonna have to regroup fast.
And the Knights haven't had a chance to serve yet in the early goings. As Patterson takes this one back up. Cormier at the line, off the fingertips, dug out by Manners. And Cholette unable to get there. And Niagara finally on the board.
See how Niagara responds.
It's set up on that side for LaBelle, dug out by Gooder. Vroztek. It's partially deflected out the line. It'll be an error as Niagara looks to climb back into this one. Very uncharacteristic out of this Humber Hawks squad.
Niagara coming back to life.
It's up. LaBelle off the hands of Gooder. Patterson off for Roztek. And look into the netting as Humber with a quick response. Patterson up for Roztek on that left side and can't get over.
Humber, tough at the net.
Tia tries to catch the Hummers. The Hawks sleeping. She does. And you mentioned that interior front for the Hawks, including Hannah Masters and Amy Connolly, 2 first-team All-Stars from last season. As Roztek boots it, it'll go down as a service error. And that's going to be one thing that Niagara's going to need to do if they want to win this, is take care of the ball. You cannot give up service errors to this Humber Hawks team.
A team like Humber that's this efficient, your margin for error is very slim. Bit of a pause here while one of the Humber players ties their shoelace.
A friendly chirp from Chris Wilkins to Amy Connolly, who is tying her shoe, and it's Connolly here to serve. Tia up for Cormier. Wasn't a great set. And a chance for the Hawks as Cormier digs this one out. Tia up for Gooder on that left side. And a nice dig as it gets over. Gooder trying to send it down. Response, Patterson gets her hands on it, but nothing she can do.
Niagara's got to do a better job of communicating.
As Niagara down 10-3 in the early goings, was down on a quick 5-0 start. Tia up for Tess. It's off. Hit off the fingers of LaBelle. And Niagara looking to claw their way back in this first set. Tess serves, dug out by Chalette. As Kelly will give it up for Gooder. And dug out by Chalette. Again, the second team All-Star from last season. And right past the hands of Cormier.
Needless to say, not how Niagara wanted this game to start.
Some more confusion by the Knights off that early serve. As MJ mentioned, not the way the Knights have wanted to start. As he played up for Masters on that far side, and Kelly says no. You talk about getting off to a poor start. You go back to the St. Clair game. Niagara pretty much got dominated in the first 2 sets against St. Clair, and they were able to battle back and gave themselves a chance to win. As Gooder looks to get there, had a huge dig in front of that scorer's table a couple weeks ago. But to my point, they were able to rally back Now, there's a big difference, and I mean this with no disrespect, MJ, in the quality of the St. Clair Saints and the Humber Hawks, as that one is into the net.
Yeah, this Hawks team is really, really great at just getting things done. Niagara really hasn't been helping himself so far.
As Abby Gooder didn't like the call, I don't think she realized it was off of her foot. But Humber continuing to cruise in this first set. It's Tia up for Faraz, tack. And a nice dig from Chalette. And a free ball for NC. Patterson, Kelly up for Cormier, off the fingertips. Pardon me, not deflected. It'll be a point for the Hawks. Looked like for a second it was deflected off the fingertips of Masters. But it'll go to the Humber Hawks. Cormier looks to get it over, dug out by LaBelle. What a dig from Patterson, all for none, as it's shot behind that NC sideline.
Niagara keeps getting caught flat-footed.
If the attack gets rejected, Kelly, it'll be a free ball. As Harback will get the point. And here comes Charlize Trudell. Trudell started a lot at that left side for the NC Knights. And today, coming off the bench, after that loss against the St. Clair Saints. Trudell with a good serve, gets its way over. And confusion between Veroztek and Tess Kelly.
Given how consistent the Humber's been over the season, you really can't afford to have that level of confusion.
As Trudell will have a seat. Trudell, a lot of last season spent as a spot server, as Cormier gets the kill. And it looked like it was off the hands of McDonough.
Coming in for Niagara, number 10, Amy Dalby.
Just out of the reach of Jesse McDonough, the first year from Calgary. And it'll be Amy Lee Deloki set to serve. And off the deflection, Humber continuing to double up the Knights in this first set. A little bit surprising, we haven't seen a timeout here so far. And it's a free ball. More miscommunications amongst this NC Knights team. Kelly up for Gooder, off the hands of Masters. We'll see if the Hawks can make a play. They can't, off of one of the basketball nets. That's raised, so maybe a break for NC. Home court advantage maybe, MJ.
Luck of the bounce. We'll take it when you're in a position like as Niagara currently is.
Gillette over on that left side for LaBelle. And able to recycle Gooder, gets it over off the hands of McDonough. And Niagara, they want to get this first set, they need to go on a bit of a rally here.
one of the keys of that rally would be not giving Humber anything.
Patterson digs this one out. Kelly up for Roztek, deflected, double by Chalette, and over on that left side. And able to get there was Delohi.
Coming in for Humber, number 14, Lexi Zakarian, and number 5, Teo Wilson.
Humber so far mostly in control of this game.
Humber got off to that quick 5-0 start, and since then, they've been able to continue this hot stretch as it's going to get over Patterson, and up for Gooder on the left side, off the fingertips, and one more time for Humber. It's dug up and off the basketball net. Off actually the shot clock. So Niagara got a lucky bounce, and so does Humber.
The basketball net taketh, the basketball net giveth.
I don't think I've ever heard that one before. Gooder can't get it over, and some mental mistakes by this Knights squad. Saw it earlier on this first half of this set. Knights gonna need to turn it around quick. Kelly, up for Gooder, and getting there on that right side was Lexi Zakari. And the Hawks firmly in the driver's seat as they look to win this first set. Kelly with a nice attack. And gets over. Tia up for Gooder. And Addie gets the point off the deflection.
Humber, though, tough at the net.
Coming in for Niagara, number 14, Amy Barlow.
As Amy Barlow into the game for NC, the first year from Stony Creek, Ontario. Tess Kelly on the serve here again. And at the bare minimum, Niagara wants to build momentum into that next set. A good one. A line drive, let it. Chalette. Roztek up for Gooder. As it's deflected off the hands of Lavelle and out. And a quick 3-0 run by NC as they look to claw their way back in this set. Roztek, they've got her fingertips on that one, starting in the middle here today.
Coming in for Humber, number 13,
Niagara not giving up.
Jinze White-Eye into serve. For Humber, the second year. As an issue, we have something at the scorer's table.
coming in for Niagara, number 4, Tia Kelly.
As Tia Kelly will come into the game for Amy Barlow. Gooder with the chip shot, catching the Hawks asleep, but able to recover. As Harback gets the rejection at the line.
Coming in for Niagara, number 8, Sam
Cormier into the game for Delohi. Tia Kelly serves, and too strong from Tia Kelly. Struggling with her serves earlier on this season. And overall in this first set, both teams, MJ, have been disciplined at the service line. Combined 3 service errors amongst the two teams. Now make it 4-2 for each side. And that's one thing that's a little concerning for Niagara is you're down by 8, and yet you're playing well at the service line. There hasn't been much of an advantage.
Yeah, at this stage, you really don't want to give Humber anything extra.
You haven't given him anything extra, and you're still down by 8. A great serve at that. Gets over somehow, some way. Kelly up for Harback. Kelly again, Harback just tries to get it over. She does. And it's deflected at the line. A good rally between these two teams. Harback, Kelly for Cormier. And Cormier gets rejected and set point for the Humber Hawks. We'll see if Steve Stone uses his timeout.
Coming in for Humber, number
Cormier with some words for the line judge.
Jesse McDonough into the game and serving. Cormier keeps this one alive. That's the free ball for the Hawks. Up at the line. What a dig from Patterson. As they'll get over by Borostek off the hands of Gillette. And out. As the Knights look to make a run to get this set in their favor. Did have a long road ahead of them, but a good thing in volleyball, there's no timer that holds against them. Harback kept that one alive, and on the same page was Borostek, and now they'll do it for the first set. The Knights with some work to do as they're down by, they lost that set by 9 points, MJ. And both teams about even at the service line. So the Knights gonna have to change something up here quickly if they want to get back into it.
Yeah, they had some communication problems early going. It looked like they'd made a pretty good adjustment regarding that, but near the end, obviously not how you wanted to finish the set.
And not the way you want to start it either. Niagara was down quickly 5-0 in the set. And it seemed like after that they rallied a little bit, but it was really too little, too late. As you can look at that last point from the Hawks.
On the bright side for the Knights, those communication issues are solvable, so if they play a little bit smarter, a little bit tighter this upcoming set, they can still be in this.
Absolutely. Niagara was clean at the service line for the most part. Only 2 service errors. 2 service errors actually for both teams. And there was only a couple plays that there was maybe some errors, miscommunications. As there's a look at some of the girls team dancing in between sets. A little bit surprising given the result of that set, but unless you got to enjoy the game while you're playing.
Though it is a catchy tune, Chris Brown's Forever. You'd like to see a little focus, a little intensity going into this next set, but if that's what keeps them loose and helps them get ahead, then so be it.
There's a look at But that attack by Sam Cormier.
More than anything, what made that set difficult for the Knights was the early 5-0 run. They just were not in position defensively to receive the serves, and they had 3 or 4 in a row, just got away from them.
Both teams talking things over. Both teams talking things over as we'll take a look at what some Knights have to say about their teammates.
The improvement she's made in the last year has been incredible, and she's one of my favorite people to play with.
Yeah. She has the best aux. No. Okay. She is the most beautiful person alive.
Okay. You make me laugh, and you always look amazing.
She has really nice hair, and it always looks really good.
Variety of compliments there.
Some of the Knights last week, we had a chance to talk to some of them, and we asked them to blind compliment each other, and that's what they had to say about each other. And this team, it's very tight-knit. You can see them on the bench. Seems like they're always having fun, having a laugh, having a smile, and that's what you have to do in these long seasons. 18 games, as many teams chasing for that gold medal, including the Knights winning bronze last season, losing to this Humber Hawks team. If they want to get that gold, this is the team they have to beat, and why it would be a great start to get a win against them here today.
Going into this next set, I think the 2 keys to victory are better communication, better positioning.
Communication was something that the Knights struggled with in that set, to your point. And they probably misplayed a couple of balls that didn't need to be misplayed. Obviously, mistakes happen, but you have to limit them against a really, really good team. As a mistake by the Hawks. And Niagara gets that all-important first point. And Niagara wasn't able to serve for a very long time on that first set. It's up at the line. More confusion by the Hawks. They still get the point. And into the game now is Larissa Skipper back in the middle. You saw Kira Barostek, Sophia Harback playing in the middle in that first set. Steve Stone going back to the second year just outside of London. And that one just a little bit outside. And they'll change it to Niagara point. As Abby Gooder will serve this one away. Abby Gooder, a 5th year from St. Catharines. Miscommunication, a little bit too strong on that play, and NC wasn't able to make a play on that ball.
Knights being their own worst enemy right there.
Patterson. Up for Verostek, dug out by Gillette. And gets over, but rejected by Sam Cormier and NC on a quick 3-2 start.
Great defense at the line.
Mishandled there by a moment by LaBelle. It gets over and rejected by Kira Vrostek. And Skipper back to serve.
Niagara starting to warm up.
McDonough sets it. And too strong. As the adjustment of putting in Larissa Skipper pays off in the early goings. Didn't see her at all in that first set. And Niagara off to a 5-2 run. And set up at the line right in between Gooder and Skipper.
Tough break for the Knights on that one.
Taya Wilkins here to serve. Gooder digs it out. Tia for Tess, and way too strong. Little too much on that one. Would have had a chance at the attack.
A little bit too much mustard.
Throws it down on the right side as NC looks to respond in this second set.
Niagara doing a really great job of not getting deflated after that first set.
McDonough up on that far side. Hughes was there and deflected out. It'll be Faith Hughes on the serve, who's second in the OCAA and hit percentage. Cormier boots this one, and we're knotted up here at 6.
Again, too strong.
What a dig.
A little shifty play there
By Connolly.
Didn't quite pay off, but keeping Humber on their toes.
Vrostek couldn't get there, and Humber with their first multi-point advantage of this second set. Niagara got off to that 4-2 start. Since then, a 6-2 run in favor of the Hawks. Kelly, Vrostek flips this one forward. McDonough, and sent too far out by Manners. It's Vrostek on the serve. Vrostek into the netting. And an ace the other way. And the service game providing a 2-point swing in favor of the Humber Hawks. You can't give this team anything as the favors return thanks to Jesse McDonald.
Knights haven't had the easiest time with serves this evening.
Kelly, a good serve at that. Dug up by Shalette. It'll have to get over, and just enough. Kelly back up for Gooder, and too much on it.
I understand that the adrenaline's going, but you got to be mindful of the strength you're putting in.
Nice for Hannah Masters off the hands of Kira Vrostek. And Coach Stone's going to need to talk things over. A 10-4 run in favor of the Humber Hawks as NC starting to crumble a little bit as they get off to the good start, which is important, but the Hawks showing why they're the Hawks in the latter parts of these last two sets.
Niagara's going to have to focus up if they want to pull this one out.
And the Humber Hawks certainly have brought in their A game here today. We know how good they can be when they're at their best. Have 3 All-Stars on this roster, including the likes of Connolly Manners and Chalette. But last year they had the MVP of the OCAA, Fenedy Wilscroft, no longer with this team, and yet they're still just as dominant as before.
To the Knights' credit, they are hanging in there, but they've got to start capitalizing a little bit more.
Well, I mean, this kind of feels like the spot in the game where, you know, you're down 4, it's not impossible to come back, but in where this spot is, it feels like it's, I don't want to say now or never, because it's never now or never in volleyball, but if Niagara wants to keep this game competitive, they're going to have to go on a bit of a run here. And that's not going to help. Another ace from Hannah Manners off the hands of Patterson.
Humber serving up many, many aces.
And it gets undone off the service error. Tia with a good serve up at the line, gets deflected. Skipper goes in the vicinity, and NC has it within 3.
Niagara still very much in this.
Kelly off the top of the netting, and it goes for an ace. Tia Kelly. She looks to do it over again as the Knights look to take the 3rd set from the Humber Hawks here so far this season. Great dig from Patterson and in to the Knights sideline. Nothing that can be done about that.
Nearly hitting the Knights Gatorade barrel?
I don't know. We'll call the barrel now. Container.
Container. Cooler.
That's probably the way to him. Gatorade cooler. As Gooder serves this one. It's up and dug up by Kelly. A good job from Tia. Cormier will have to get this one over off the fingertips, keeping this one alive. And it'll get played up and rejected by Cormier. And it's deflected. And NC has this one within 1 with Abby Gooder at the service line.
Niagara digging deep.
Nice serve from Gooder. It makes its way over and set up right in the wheelhouse of Faith Hughes, who hits the ball as hard as anybody in the OCAA. And second in this lead in hit percentage. Only trailing Tess Kelly. What a dig from Patterson. Didn't have the right read as it'll have to get over. And Tia does a good job herself for Oztech. Off the hands of Gillette. A chance. And Patterson, who's been strong, boots that one way too far. And a good response out of this Humber Hawks team to get the lead up to 3. And Gooder can't control that ball. And it goes as an ace. One that Abby Gooder probably would like to have back.
Most definitely. Earlier on, we spoke about how the Knights bench seemed a little bit loose. The Humber bench, incredibly loose. They've had many different routines, I guess I would call them, that they've engaged in throughout the game.
Celebrations, animations,
Skits,
emotes. Whatever you want to call them, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Feels like every time I look over, there's something going on with the Humber bench.
And I mean, Humber, it almost feels like at times, as that goes into the netting, Humber, maybe they won't say it, but at times they kind of coast through the regular season. One thing that they only play for is gold medals, especially when it comes to volleyball. They've been a huge staple of this women's volleyball in the OCAA. Esperanza, Courtney Kelly gets there at the line with the kill.
Coming in for Niagara, number 10, Emily Dalby.
And Emily Dalby in here to serve. Gillette over, and Masters plays this one. Kelly back up for Verostek off the fingertips of Hughes. Masters, and a good effort from Gooder. Not good enough to keep it alive.
Couldn't quite get to it.
So gets over, and Gooder can't get there. NC had it within 1, and all of a sudden now MJ, they're down by 5.
Niagara's really going to have to lock in if they want to pull this set out.
Win or loss for the Humber Hawks, for the Knights. This game certainly feels like a litmus test as Kelly gets the kill. As to where they compete against the Humber Hawks, if they want to win a gold medal, obviously Humber the heavy favorites, but Niagara the last couple of years has put together successful parts of their season as McDonough sets it in the middle, and below he will have to give a free ball. It's over. Masters just past Abby Gooder. Set by McDonough. Gooder gets there, dug it by Gillette, and they'll get out. A good effort from the second team All-Star, and not enough to keep it in. As someone who likes to make a bid for an All-Star team of her own, Tess Kelly on here to serve. Kelly, right there by Masters. Gillette over for Connolly, back over at the line, gets down off of a couple of Hawks. And Niagara on a quick 3-1 run, they have it within 3.
Great awareness by Niagara right there.
Kelly serves this one, a good one at that. Gillette able to keep it alive. And Niagara was on the net. And that feels like a backbreaker. Having a chance to get it within 2.
Not a mistake Niagara can afford right now.
I mean, against the Hawks, you can't really afford any mistakes. As Humber makes one of their own. Service error number 5 of this set. Niagara has only committed 4 service errors in the first 2 sets, 2 apiece.
Niagara within striking distance.
And Kelly off the top of the netting and out. And Steve Stone still with a timeout in his back pocket. Coach Wilkins with 2. Gooder on that far side. Out the hands of Masters. As the Knights look to go on a run to win this second set.
Coming in for Niagara,
The Knights need to be laser focused right now.
No room for error whatsoever. They have 1 point against to play with. And after that, it's pretty much axe against the wall. As Gooder serves this one. And it's over. Partially deflected line, gets over. And Humber has it within set point.
Coming in for Humber, number 14, Lexi
And for Aztec will come in for Amy Barlow. We'll see if Steve Stone uses his final timeout.
Number 5, Kale Wilkins.
At set point, in serious danger, MJ, of falling behind 2 sets to
Number
none.
5, Kira Barostek.
As coming back from 2 sets to none is a hard challenge against any team, let alone a team that's only lost 2 sets all season long. This one gets over and out. It'll go as an ace.
At the end of the second set, the score is your Knights.
And the Hawks
25.
take care of business against the Knights. Gonna have to get right back to the drawing board if they want to come back into this game. It's gonna be tough, but it was never gonna be easy against one of the best in the country.
Yeah, not much of a consolation to say that that was a much closer set. But Niagara not doing themselves a whole lot in the favors department.
I mean, now there was Humber, they had 7 service errors. And I think that's what's scary is because, yeah, you have it within 5, but Humber's been dominant at the service line. Or, sorry, Niagara, you've been dominant at the service line. Humber gift wrapped you 7 points, and yet you're still down by 5.
Yeah, and coming back to those skits we mentioned earlier on, I'm getting the impression that Humber isn't even really focused in on this one. So imagine that Humber team focused for a playoff game.
Well, Humber, I mean, the regular season for them doesn't matter whatsoever. They could win 1,000 straight regular season games. If they don't win gold, it doesn't matter. That's the culture at school, not just for basketball, but for soccer and for volleyball. We'll take a look at Abby Gooder, and we'll get a chance to learn about here with some rapid fire questions. Ready? Favorite pregame meal?
Eggs and bacon and toast. Dogs. I could play the recorder. You're So Vain. She Keeps Me Up by Nickelback. Pepperoni and mushrooms. Probably the chicken zingers. The crying one. Night. When people talk over someone else that's already talking. Fiji. Modern Family. Watch TikTok. My water, my phone, and my laptop. No excuses, play like a champion.
And there's Abby Gooder looking at herself on the scoreboard, a big smile on her face. Had a chance when we shot that to talk to a few of the Knights and get a chance to learn about them. Obviously, you see them on the court, and with Abby Gooder, a big presence at this school for a long time, but a quiet person. You don't get a chance to really learn about her all that much, so good chance for us to learn about the 5th-year start from St. Catharines.
Niagara really needing to rally.
It's going to be a test for this Knights team. And I said it before, and I will say it again. If you want to beat the best, or be the best, you have to beat them.
For Niagara, if you're not going to pull out a victory, you'd at least like to get a set on them.
And that in itself is a difficult challenge. Only 2 sets have been lost by the Humber Hawks all season long.
Humber mostly in the driver's seat for this game.
Humber looking to take care of business here at the Simply Financial Athletic Center. The Knights 2-0 here on the day. The girls basketball team taking care of business. And some of the guys basketball team winning here today as well. Fisher Jackson, Carterbone, right outside of the booth, cheering on the girls volleyball team as they get the first point of this set. As Gooder gives the serve up and rejected at the line by Skipper. A chance for LaBelle as they get the response.
The Knights are going to have to try and push for an early lead if they want to try and get this set.
Off the serve, it's Sabo. Way to go down for an ace for the Humber Hawks, who've struggled at the service line. And if they can improve on anything here today, it's at the service line. They've had a total of 6 service errors in that last set and 8 on the day. It'll be a free ball for NC. Kelly up for Skipper, dug out by Manners and rejected by Sam Cormier on that right side as the Knights continue to rally. It's Skipper on to serve. A good one at that. Mathers able to dig it out. He'll have to get over here. Tia. Skipper for Cormier off the hands of Gillette. McDonough over. And what a dig from Marissa Skipper, keeping this one alive, but unable to rally after that was NC. As Connolly will serve this one, and too far. As that's the first service error for the Humber Hawks of this set. And Niagara has been able to be relatively clean at the service line. Only 5 service errors in this one. Make it 6. Commentators jinx things to me.
Just had to go and say it out loud.
I apologize to Sam Cormier about that one. Caitlin LaBelle here to serve. Gooder digs it out. Kelly at the line off the hands of Connolly. And the Hawks can't get it over. As Trudell will go down to serve. hard hit at that. It gets over out of the reach of Cormier.
The set's really turning into a test of wills early on.
Gooder with a nice dig. It's kept alive. Right into no man's land. Knights were pressing at the line. And nobody there in that in-between area. As Humber shoots it right into the net. These two teams keeping it close in the early goings.
Knights with a chance to tie it up. I get the feeling the end of this set's going to be 24-25.
It's off the hands of either Kelly or Skipper, doesn't matter, as Humber restores their multi-point lead in this set. That is just past the line shootout. And half of NC's points in this set have come off service errors thanks to Humber. It's up at the line, partially off the hands of Gooder. NC able to get this one tied up to Kelly to serve. Yeah, like us.
Knights knotting it up. Sticking with it.
The Knights, really honestly, outside of that first set, MJ, it's been competitive throughout. Obviously, the service errors helps for Niagara College, but they've been able to keep it competitive as they search for their first set win of this game. It'll have to be a free ball, as Patterson can't get it over. A good effort nonetheless. As Hannah Manners will take the serve and into the netting for NC. And Coach Wilkins is going to need to talk things over. I've said it a million times, but the service game continues to cost the Humber Hawks.
Yeah, if you're Niagara, it's not quite how you'd like to get there, but for the time being, you'll take it.
You'll take any type of lead, no matter how you get it. But at the same time, Humber's been gifting Niagara points. And you talk about how the Hawks are so locked in. Their huddle was, what, 15 seconds there?
If even.
And they're already back onto the court, ready to go. Coach Wilkins trusts his guys, his girls, that is, and knows their experience and poise just needed a breather. And on the other side, Coach Stone talking things over as they look to rally here at the Simply Financial Athletics Center. The men's slate set to kick off 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one, scheduled to begin at 8 o'clock. And the girls looking to send this one to a fifth set.
One of the things that makes this Humber team so difficult is they're very rarely caught wildly out of position.
It all starts with good coaching. Chris Wilkins, Coach of the Year last year, 24 years in the OCAA. A little bit on the reach of Tia Kelly.
Right now is focus time for Niagara.
Kelly up on that right side for Cormier, and Sabo tried to dig it out and unable to do so.
There you go. That's good focus.
Here's Skipper. Over at the line, right past Sam Cormier, but on that serve, it was a floater, and it gave the Hawks lots of time to be ready and get ready for the next move. Arnold on the serve, getter. Can't handle it, it'll be an ace. As Abby's had a couple of those plays where she's had a ball hit right to her, it's been in her wheelhouse, and she's mishandled it.
A little shallow.
As it's served. Service error number 5. The Hawks shooting themselves in the foot. As Amy Bilal into the game to serve. Senior a lot of the libero position. Dugout and an ace. For Bilal off of the hands of Dylan Bannister. The fingertips of, I believe, Rick Donna.
Nice little tackle to the net there.
Trudell makes a play and can't handle that ball. As Humber restores their lead. Patterson. Trudell on that left side. You'll get the kill. Sorry, MJ.
Stuffed at the net there.
She'll get a point off the deflection. Trudell, too strong, but you can see the power in her serves. You alluded to it, I believe, in that second set. And last season, Trudell spent a lot of time as a spot server. Got some starts on the left side. Abby Glitter can't handle that one. I believe that's 3 now, right in her hands that she hasn't been able to handle.
Yeah, she's had a tough little bit here.
Another great serve. It'll have to be a free ball. We'll see if Trudell can get it over. She can. What a play from Charlize Trudell to get this one over. And just barely keeping it in are the Hawks. As Steve Stone's going to need a timeout. And Humber. Sorry, go ahead.
Smart timeout because this set's starting to get away from Niagara.
Here, I was just going to allude to that. Niagara had the brief 1 to 2 point lead, but now they're down by as many as 3 in this set. And it's in danger of getting away from them as Niagara, at the very minimum, wants to push a 4th set. And this one here so far. And the thing for Humber that is in their favor is they've been so poor from the service line here today, and yet they're still up 3, and they have won 2 sets to none.
Yeah, you take away some service errors, and this could be a much bigger lead for Humber.
And of course, it's a part of the game, but at the clip that they're giving them up, especially in the 2nd and 3rd set, it's part of the reason why these sets have been close. I think Niagara can compete with Humber, of course. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. But at the same time, Humber has made Niagara's lives somewhat easier. Although they're playing Humber, so your life's not going to be very easy. But you know what I'm saying in terms of giving up those 3 points.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, though, the margin for error with this Humber team is razor thin.
And Gooder digs this one up. Gooder with a chance to attack off the hands of LaBelle. And Masters right in front of Megan Patterson as the lead grows to 4.
That's going all the way.
This is where Niagara really has to dig deep.
Patterson with a nice dig. Kelly gets rejected at the line. Gooder up for Kelly, off the hands of LaBelle. And out.
Niagara catching it right there.
And even like service line, we've said that so many times. But even Humber has been a little strong on some balls, and they've given Niagara points that way as well. Gillette up for Amanda's off the hands of DeLogie. As Tegan Inman came into the game to serve, and she'll have a seat for Abby Gooder.
Humber continuing to hammer those balls in.
DeLogie back up for Trudell, just rejected and out. As the Knights need to go on a run here to at least extend this game. It's Tegan Kelly on the serve. Great dig from Patterson. Trudell, as Gooder will have to get it over. Gillette back up for Manners, just barely keeping it in, and a great attack from Manners, proving why she is a first-team All-Star and so good today she'll have a chance to serve.
And as I just mentioned, the aggressiveness with which Humber's returning his balls is tough for the defense of Niagara to withstand.
Bonio just misses, and I mean just misses. As the lead grows to 5, it's now or never for NC. And Steve Stone feels that, and he's going to call timeout, his last of this third set.
It feels like overall that the Knights have really struggled with the aggressivity of Humber.
And Humber has cleaned up their service game so far, and it's been part of the reason why they've got up to a 5-point lead so far. And Humber is 5 points away from winning this third set and the game here today, as they look to go 6-0 in the early season.
Knights, though, somewhat in range. They could possibly still pull this set out.
It's not impossible, but we know a veteran and experienced team like the Humber Hawks aren't going to give anything easy to the Knights. As Chris Wilkins still with a timeout in his back pocket, as one of his best, Hannah Manners set to serve. Patterson, Cormier, Gooder on that right side dugout by Manners, chance up at the line. Gillette can't get it over.
Rare miscommunication from Humber there.
Coming in for Niagara, number 14, Amy Barlow.
It'll be Gooder here to serve. Manners. Gunner up on that far side. And unable to keep it in. Quietly has it within 3. And a chance for AG to serve. Gillette. McDougal. It's Barlow with the attack. Double by Gillette. McDonough back up. What a kick from Patterson to keep this one alive. Gooder try and get it over. She can't. A great rally. It'll be Harback off and deflected. And Gillette back up. And a chip shot. A chance for NC to get a good attack. Cormier off the hands of LaBelle. Great rally that we've got going on as it'll end just outside of the out of bounds line. And NC has this one within 2. And keep an eye out for that last timeout from Chris Wilkins. And none remaining for NC.
Great job by Niagara, really hanging in there.
That's one of those rallies that can build momentum. We'll see if that happens in this next rally. Patterson, another great dig, gets over. Gooder. As I say, NC touched the netting.
Tough.
That feels like an absolute heartbreaker. Not over yet. And Sabo on here to serve. Gets over. Skipper. And get the point. And Humber has this one back up to 4.
Set slipping away from Niagara.
Sabo on the serve, Gooder. Tia for Cormier off the hands of Hughes. And off the hands of Cormier again. It'll have to get over. It doesn't. And Humber has match point. Just 2 points away. As the Knights gonna need a miracle if they want to come back in this one here today. Great dig from Patterson. Up for Barlow, who gets rejected. And match point for the Humber Hawks. They look to make it a perfect 6-0 on their season.
Humber on a dominant run.
And Niagara had it within 2, and since then a 4-0 run by the Hawks. Patterson, Skipper off the hands. Of McDonough. As the Knights look to extend it, it's the wrist of Skipper to serve. Skipper. Played up at the line, rejected by Kelly. Gooder. Tia. Up for Cormier, off the hands of Gillette. And the Hawks have to get this one over, and they can't. And the Knights able to rally. Chris Wilkins keeping that timeout in his back pocket. For now, that is, as it'll be Skipper on to serve. Manners, McDonough, back up on that line. And Gooder, Kelly, Cormier off the hands, and a great dig somehow, some way, it hits the ground. What a rally by the Hawks to keep it alive. And that's gonna do it as the Hawks pick up win number 6 on the season. Inches, maybe even centimeters away from getting their 21st point of the set. But the Knights drop this one 25-20, the score of the second set, as both teams will shake hands. We'll take a look at that last point. Somehow that one got over, and Gooder just couldn't quite get her hand on that ball to try and extend this rally. But Niagara, kind of disappointing that they couldn't at least get one set out of this match, MJ.
Yeah, if you're Niagara, you want to take some lessons from this loss, because if you come back against this Humber team, I fear the playoff team that they would be.
And if you want to get the gold, it's going to run through Humber. It has for years. It will continue to do so, as both teams giving each other high fives at the conclusion of this one. The men's slate set to begin in about 20 to 30 minutes time here inside the Simply Financial Athletic Center, starting a little bit early as this one finished early in its own right. My name's Alex Van Hack. Join alongside me, my partner, MJ Graham. Thank you so much for joining us. And like I mentioned, 20 to 30 minutes time, the Knights looking to win 3 of 4 on Reunited weekend. The basketball team sweeping, and a chance here for the Knights to win Reunited with a win against the men's volleyball Humber Hawks. We'll see you then.